What's up, YouTube viewers? I'm Dave Ada reporting for the Dog Shampoo Network. Over the past decade, social media networks have created an almost apocalyptic storm, kidnapping the lives of all tech-savvy beings of each generation. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. Whether it's your best friend sharing a pic of the new puppy on Instagram or your favorite E-band showing off their new tour bus on Twitter, or your grandma commenting on every single Facebook picture of you since 7th grade, they are all a part of a bigger and socially changing picture. Seemingly fun at first, the toll of social media sites inevitably wear down the networkers' self-esteem. In turn, their reactions cause them to look at their lives and either decide to try for some kind of self-improvement and change, or wallow in self-pity. Many live by the notion that publicity is happiness, as judged from the outside by others. Being envied is a strange, solitary form of reassurance. And envy is the exact backbone of social media, displaying one's life and experiences publicly for all. We, a culture, are dependent upon the approval of another, whether we know them or not. Another way of explaining the 2020 culture is it's not about what or who the Instagram post is about, all that is desired is the high number of likes, thus, the more likes, the more happiness we feel. Before plunging too far, I would like to take time to clarify, envy and jealousy are not one and the same. Upon my research, I came across a comparative definition of the two that I feel portrays a clear distinction between the similar emotions. Envy is the sting felt when wanting what someone else has, and jealousy is the fright felt of losing something you already have. For instance, one see and envy the beauty of someone when at a restaurant, but one can be jealous that your significant other may leave you for that person you were envying. I couldn't agree more with the definitions of envy, why and jealousy, and feel it is important to draw a clear line. Although the idea of modern envy is still relevant, the whole dynamic has shifted. Much of the envy circulating today spawns from the use of social media and the constant need to share every picture and mini tragedy of one's life to their world of friends. Because there is an unspoken pressure from your audience of followers, it is quite obvious that people will only post the most flattering photos of themselves with the most pleasing of filters, angles, lighting, contrast, and so on, thus creating a representation of everyone's best self and best life. While scrolling through others' well-sifted posts, it is quite easy and almost impossible not to stir envious notions of another's looks, possessions, and experiences. Why do we bother objecting ourselves to this inevitable envy? The feeling of satisfaction and dissatisfaction that individuals feel upon scrolling through the feeds, it is a way to stay in the now for the next big thing to envy. The trending topics that everyone sees are trending for a reason, as people like to dream what their lives could be. Going a bit deeper, this desire creates a spark inside of the user to glorify a Facebook mask, or the engineered profile of one's best self. As author Ben Davis quotes in his piece about the modern culture and Instagram, self-promotion triggers more self-promotion. And the world on social media gets further and further from reality. This Facebook mask spring from the real world applies but still doesn't explain the need for social media users' root of envy. During his interview with BBC World Global, psychologist Michael Sinclair clarifies that our desire to like and to receive likes on Instagram and other networks comes from humans' primitive state. As cavemen and cavewomen, it is innate to want to be likable. With these sites we have the power to idealize certain parts of ourselves and hide others. Also weighing in on the interview was British Insta celeb Alan Hinton, who began to post pictures to the site to share his photography hobby with friends. After gaining tens of thousands of followers and even more likes, he said people were appreciating, so I'd take more. Hinton went on to say that he even started walking through the park to take a good picture on the way to work rather than his routine bus ride. The small act of liking a picture or retweeting a tweet can cause photographers like Hinton to take more time out of the day and post to all his fans. This is where it seems that a pressure of keeping followers happy and even outdoing one's own previous pictures comes into play. It trickles down from celebrities who have it all, to Insta celebs who try to convince others they have it all, and finally to the people we actually know trying to cover the unflattering qualities that real life exposes. People are always looking to others to compare themselves to, whether good or bad. Humans are, unfortunately, rooted in the twisted desire to want to be someone else, in order to be better, and have more people want to be like them, creating a never-ending web, so it seems. Take for instance, the image of a tweet featuring a screenshot of celebrity Kylie Jenner's Instagram picture. One might question the point of the 21-year-old posting a picture of her hand. Simply put, bragging rights. The 5 rings and 2 bracelets gracing her freshly manicured hands are from the latest collection from world-renowned high-style jeweler, Cartier. Not only are each of these pieces the latest and greatest, but a bracelet is priced at over $6,500 alone. As if that wasn't enough to dream about, take a look at her watch. It appears to be diamond encrusted. Perhaps an odd picture at first glance, but once there is the realization that the monetary value present in the photo equates to well over $40,000, not including the steering wheel of her $125,000 Mercedes that her hands are lounging on. The viewer is left with a desire to be like Kylie and/or her lifestyle. Although a slight exaggeration, the caption in the tweet really enhances the picture. On one side, there are many young people who, they and the parents, struggle to pay for student loans while in college and far beyond. Then there's Kylie, who wears 1 year's worth of tuition on her left hand. Yet it's hard to judge who wouldn't post a superfluous picture of expensive jewelry and a hand similar to Kylie's, especially if they knew the picture would receive over 500,000 likes in under 2 hours. Because most of her followers don't have the lifestyle she has, they cannot be jealous of her, no matter how much she flaunts her life and her belongings. Rather, she makes it easy to envy her. After viewing similar envy-arousing images and once caught up in the self-pity, one may become too engulfed and lose focus. A study performed at the University of Michigan concluded that the more time people spent on Facebook or other social media networks, the less satisfied they became with their lives. Social media networks draw in a constant competition of my life is better than yours, creating a suffocation of envy and onset pain of decreased self-esteem that seems to become inescapable for many. The dissatisfaction with oneself is directly related and unfortunately quite common to what individuals come across on social media. There are myriads of stories, poems, and opinion pieces written in support of this study, most of which are directly posted to the deeper emotional community of Tumblr. One specific post has stood out to me for quite some time. The author begins by stating they deleted their Facebook profile. They go on to explain that although the daily feed on their home page was almost identical, they still couldn't hold back. It hit 'em. The whole punchline to this envy we feel is the fact that we believe others' lives are perfect even though we are all well aware that the perfection is unattainable. We talk ourselves into the envy and sadness. The passage continues on by explaining that we must stop our delusions before they become too drowning. Simply, we deserve so much better. Malicious envy is when one is driven to damage anyone, or anything in their way to make themselves look better, whereas benign envy is present in someone who is determined to surpass others' success by building their own success. Either way, envy comes down to one thing only: motivation. Even though seeing pictures posted of friends celebrating at a party you weren't invited to, or a crush's relationship status changing from single to in a relationship, can spark anger and many negative effects of malicious envy. It is necessary to keep in mind the good, benign envy that can come from viewing others' experiences and accomplishments. Researchers in the Netherlands recently performed 4 different studies tracing college students' reactions to envy sprung from social environments. They concluded that benign envy proved to be an overwhelmingly substantial motivator, used as a crutch for self-improvement. So in essence, if we transcend envy, we can be better people for ourselves and others. This has been part 1 in a series on the effects of social media and envy. Tune in next week for part 2, and please like and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.